Bam. My peoples. My people. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Let's get it, my peoples. We already know, we've been talking about it. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. It's going down on September 13th. And, people feel confident about what the results are going to be. Let's talk about it, man. I'm Jay Smith, and we about to get it in, y'all. There's a historical relevance, a historical factor to this fight. Ooh, first one in the building, the first three in the building. Oh, what's the deal, my peoples? Good morning. So, Bud and Canelo, there's a historical factor in play. Ernest Morales, breakfast, my G. Let's get it. You're going to like this one. You're going to like this, the way we kick this one off. So, with Crawford and Canelo, there's a historical factor in play. Why? Of course, undisputed, right? We know that they're gonna, whoever wins is going to be undisputed, which Canelo holds that crown right now at the 168 division. But we have to now take into consideration, should Crawford win this fight, he'll be undisputed in a third division, the only fighter to ever do so. That would make it historic, right? Then there's the fact that he's jumping up two divisions. He's not the first one doing it. It's been done. But in this era, in this generation, nobody has done it. He's doing something that is, most of us have never seen it because of when it happened, how long ago it happened. It was Sugar Ray Leonard. How many people watched can say, if you're younger than your 40s, you never watched Sugar Ray Leonard. You could have watched his highlights or, went to YouTube. But Crawford is about to do something that nobody in this era has accomplished. Ozzy, yo, Jay Smith, have you seen that video of Crawford on that slingshot ride? Yeah, I seen that video. I seen it. Yo, that's how you know that Crawford has ice in his veins. This man is, what has people terrified, screaming, crying, this man is laughing at it. He got ice in his veins. Ozzy, his friend faint on the ride, passed out, cold. And Crawford's laughing at it. To him, it's hilarious. So he got ice in his veins. But there's, like I said, man, there's a historical factor when it comes to this fight because both of these fighters are amongst the most accomplished of this era. And now they're gonna face each other, my people. Instead of hating on a fighter and saying, oh, this fighter hasn't done this and this fighter hasn't done that. Nah, let's appreciate that we about to witness history, my people. We about to witness something special. And y'all don't even realize it. Like, regardless, look, I got Crawford winning the fight, right? But for now, let's just say we don't know who's going to win. Regardless of who you think is going to win, it's a historic fight. And the winner is going to have a huge win added to their resume, no matter who wins. So this is not a one-sided thing like, oh, Crawford wins, he's going to get all the credit, but if Canelo loses, he's not getting credit. No, it's not like that, my peoples. Whoever wins this fight is going to be recognized as having beaten a great fighter, a pound-for-pound fighter, all of that. Champ, do you think the money could distract Bud? Nah, I don't think so. Reportedly, he's making $10 million. And he said it out of his own mouth. So that's not an amount of money. Taking into account what he has, that's not an amount of money that's going to change him, That's not ooh. So I don't know. I don't think so. What I see is a focused Terence Crawford, someone who, and it feels to me like Crawford likes that energy. Being the underdog, having everyone rooting against him, saying that he's gonna get knocked out. Cause we saw with Errol when he was gonna fight Errol Spence, it was that same energy. People saying that Errol was too big, Errol was gonna knock him out, he's too little. That same, those same type of predictions. And he enjoyed it. And he let people know when we get in the ring, Errol Spence is gonna find out. And now he's dealing with the exact same situation where most people are arguing about size and power. That was the same talking points before he fought Errol Spence. Yo. And now he's gonna be the underdog. So he loves it. He loves it. Trust me. It's like, yo, everybody's gonna be proven wrong when Crawford starts dishing out that ass. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, my peoples. When Canelo lands a good shot, boom, and Crawford stays standing right in front of him, y'all gonna be scared for Canelo. They're gonna be like, oh shit, Crawford took his shot. He was supposed to fly away, head back, feet up. It didn't happen. Because that's the thing. The way people talk about this fight is like when Canelo land, boom, Crawford's just gonna go, feet in the air and shit, landing on his ass. Those are the expectations, right? What happens when Canelo lands a big shot, boom, and Crawford takes that shot and counters him, boom, and keep it moving? What happens when you see that? You're going to have to be scared for Canelo because all people keep banking on the size and the power. What happens when you start to understand that the size and the power are not going to be a factor in this fight? What then? Ozzy, I'm surprised he's making 10 times less than Canelo. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because Floyd did that too. Look at when Floyd fought some of his opponents. If you never, the logic behind that, if you never made no 50 million, don't be demanding no 50 million. You never made that. You never made nowhere near that. So what they do really is get you close to what your career payday was, or above your career payday. Like, yo, if you made $1 million before, we paying you 10. Fuck it. We're paying you a lot more than what you made before. So there's a logic behind that. And the thing is that Crawford said it himself, and his haters won't never accept that. But he said it, yo, $10 million, that's not a lot of money. I'm doing this for my legacy. I'm doing this to prove him wrong. Everybody's saying I can't beat Canelo. I'm going to prove him wrong. So it's really not about the money. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Crawford is a very smart person. Good investments, owns properties, all type of stuff. If he retired right now without ever fighting again, he's good. He's good. His family's good. If he retired right now. So he's fighting Canelo Alvarez to do something that people think he can't. Specifically. When Crawford is the type of fighter who he sees what people are saying about this fight. He's watching social media, watching, the reporters, the influencers, the fans. He's watching. People saying he's going to get knocked out. People saying Canelo's going to wash him, all that. Crawford is watching all that stuff. And I promise you, my people, that's fuel. That's fuel for the fire. Ernest Morales, getting to think about IFF, but would have remained 135. Might have accomplished, probably would have been undisputed there too. He would have definitely. If he would have stayed, he would have been undisputed there too, my guy. The nobody, my peoples, J Smith voice. So that's how you showed up in the chat. My peoples, what's the deal, my G? So I'm talking about the historical reference when it comes to Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. You guys have to keep in mind both fighters are two division undisputed champions right now. Both fighters. So, we're used to seeing, we've seen a lot of undisputed champions. In this era, we've seen Devin Haney, of course, Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Naoya Inoue, Usyk was undisputed as well. So we've seen some undisputed champions, but we have two undisputed champions facing each other. That's a different ball game. Think about it. Two champions who both been undisputed sharing the ring. This is historic. Both guys have been on most pound for pound lists. Yeah. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Both fighters have been on the pound for pound list at the number one spot. So we're getting a fight that is of historic levels. This is a big one. Ernest Morales, but will set traps, outmaneuver, and grow as the fight progresses. Look, the way that I see the fight playing out is Canelo Alvarez and Crawford being very competitive for the first 8, 9 rounds. And then I see Crawford pulling away from him. But during those first 8, 9 rounds, it's going to turn into a chess match. Why? Because Canelo is going to respect Crawford's power more than people think. You got folks thinking that Canelo's just going to walk him down and destroy him. And it's not going to be like that. Canelo's going to taste his power. Boom, boom, boom. When Crawford land a couple of times. Boom, boom. And trust me, when he tastes that power, he's going to be more hesitant. And it's not going to play out like people think. It's going to be a strategic fight. Canelo is going to win rounds. Canelo is going to perform. It's just that Crawford is going to have that height and reach advantage. And I'm telling you, he's going to do what it takes to keep Canelo at the end of that long-ass jab. If you may recall, Bivol, the main ingredient to his success against Canelo was his reach advantage. With that reach advantage, Bivol kept Canelo at the end of that stick. Bah, 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 bah. Canelo couldn't get on the inside. If you watch Bivol versus Canelo, you'll notice there wasn't the usual consistent attacks to the body that we see from Canelo in that fight. And it's not that Canelo didn't want to hit Bivol to the body. He did at times land the occasional left hook, but it wasn't something that you saw consistent throughout the fight, enough to wear Bivol down. Why? Because, my peoples, when you're at the end of that jab, you can't land that left hook to the body that Canelo loves. That's a punch that you got to get on the inside to land it. And he wasn't able to do that successfully against Bivol. So imagine Terence Crawford, who has a longer reach than Canelo Alvarez. So we're making it about the weight and the strength. The weight and the strength. Power does not dictate the outcome of every fight. We all know this, my peoples. We could talk about, oh, he's bigger, and the power. Is he going to handle the power? But power doesn't handle the outcome of every fight, my people. Y'all know it. Y'all know I'm not lying. The Nobody 92, do you think Buz's body will grow into 168? Didn't seem like it grew into 154 that well. Well, the Nobody 92, I'm going to just put it to you like this. You watched Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez go face to face, my brother. Did Canelo look bigger than Crawford? You watched them. You've seen them. Crawford is walking around at 185 pounds, my G. 185 pounds. So while you're thinking about 154, talking about 154, this man has been walking around at 185 pounds for months. Jacked. He's actually going to cut down in weight. So while you're thinking, is he going to grow into 168? Dude walking around jacked at 185. So what do you think? How you think he's going to look when he cut down to that weight? You tell me. Panty Sniffer, Bud versus Canelo It's not as big as Floyd versus Manny. Even both fighters, the fighters are old and out of their prime, in my opinion. I respect it. I respect the panty sniffer. You got your opinion. But I tell you what, this fight, number one, is going to live up to the expectations. I promise you this fight is going to be a lot more exciting. If you remember, Manny versus Floyd turned into a snooze fest. We waited and waited for something big, for some big action, for them to trade some big leather. It never happened. It never happened. It didn't even come close to living up to the expectations. This fight right here is going to be a lot more competitive, a lot more explosive, and and not only that, this is what I want you to understand, my G. When Manny and Floyd fought, both of them were considered pretty much done. That's it. That's it. Manny had been knocked out brutally. Brutally slept. You forgot how Manny got slept? That was after that. And Floyd, like, both of them, their skills were diminished when they fought each other. That fight was mad years late. But right now, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are both still performing at an elite level. I'm not saying that Manny and Floyd wasn't, but you could see that facing each other, neither one of them was the same. Canelo and Bud, they the same. They still got it. And by the way, Panty Sniffer, to show you that this fight is bigger, this is for Undisputed, my G. On as far as historical relevance, this fight is way bigger. Because number one, both of these fighters have been undisputed. And neither Manny or Floyd were ever undisputed. And number two, this fight is happening when both of them still have their physical abilities to perform. And you're gonna see. Even the way that this fight is gonna play out is gonna be better than that one. Because like I told you, that was a snooze fest. It didn't play out like we thought. Angry Mexican, Jay, good morning. Just got done checking out your shadow boxing. I see the hands are rated E for everyone. You know it, my G. What's the deal, my brother? Bam. You know, I'm a peaceful person, but if I gotta let these hands go, they get unleashed. Nicholas Townsend, all facts, well-informed and observant. I appreciate it, my brother. Bam. Angry Mexican, panties, but isn't a star like no Manny, Floyd, or Canelo. Canelo has to carry this promotion a bit. Panty Sniffer. I mean, you could say he has to carry this promotion, still getting his ass whooped. That's not going to change. Panty Sniffer, shadow boxing, and Crocs. It's some OG shit. My God. I was hoping I didn't bust my ass. That would have been a nasty fail right there. That would have been a horrible fail. Busting my ass, then people would have been like, look, you want to wear Crocs and shadow box? Hold that down. The Nobody 92. How did Bud look against Madrimov at 154? How did Canelo look against Lara at 160? Lloyd Allen. He has a good chin. I see a lot of head turning, like in the Mayweather and Triple G fight. Bud gonna be turning a lot of heads that night. Man, listen. Bud is gonna make history. That's what I'm telling people. They don't realize it, that we're watching a historic fight. You know how, some people, think about this. Some people watch boxing for mad years, 10, 15, 20, 30, and they never get to see a fight between two undisputed fighters. They never seen it. They never seen it. That's what we're gonna see, my peoples. Canelo Alvarez, undisputed. Now, imagine if Crawford wins this fight for a second, even if you don't want to believe it, but just imagine it. Crawford would have been undisputed for the first time at 140 and then undisputed for the last time at 168. This dude is going down as one of the greatest of all time, my peoples. The haters are going to be so mad. I'm sending. I'm gonna have to call 911 and send for a welfare check. Make sure you woke up okay. After y'all said all that shit. Angry Mexican, yo, the nobody. Him being 185 just means he's been eating a lot. Doesn't mean he's going to move and grow. The nobody 92. Don't be that ignorant, my brother. Doesn't mean that he been eating a lot. Maybe if you don't know about athleticism and you don't know about that kind of thing, but what Crawford did is actually called bulking up. You see what you get with boxing, or you get educated. What Crawford did is bulking up. He bulked up to 184 by getting jacked up, doing weights, doing calisthenics, running, and eating fibers, proteins, and certain diet to bulk up. You see the difference between bulking up and just ate a lot and got fat and gained weight? Bulking up is a little bit different, my guy. So if you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you, go ahead, go to Crawford's Instagram and check him out, and see if he looks fat at 185, or does he look jacked? So you got to twist it, buddy. That's the mistake that people are making. Y'all thinking that Crawford is this 154-pounder sucked in like this, who a couple of weeks before the fight, he's just gonna start eating a lot of pizza, a lot of stuff, I don't know, and gain the weight to fight Canelo. You know, the other day somebody told me, yo, Jay, Crawford might not even make 168. Crawford might fight at 165 because he's just too little to make 168. And it was like 3-4 days later, Crawford posted a picture of him on a scale weighing 185. I was like, yo, bro, what happened? What happened, my G? My guy still hasn't responded. You know who you is. You know who you is. What happened with Crawford? It's not even going to make the 168 because he's too little. Dude walking around weighing 185. And then he does the face-off. He does the face-off with Canelo. And y'all got the audacity to still be bringing up size. Y'all seen the face-off? Canelo's little. That's what y'all don't understand. He's little. He's a little fighter. He's not a big dude. That's why this fight is happening. You won't see Crawford fighting anybody else at 168. He's fighting Canelo because that's a little dude. And he could do that and whoop his ass. Come on now. Panty sniffer. Nobody can shadow box wearing Crocs like Jay Smith. You know it. You know it. You got to have that balance with the ankles and all that. Lucy, Floyd is a fraud. I don't know what you're talking about, Lucy. You don't like Floyd, that's cool. But to say that he's a fraud, that's crazy work. Angry Mexican. I never had a pair of Crocs. Can you put them on in a sport mode? I think I was wearing them in sport mode yesterday. Lloyd Allen, good morning, by the way, brother. Good morning, Lloyd. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in, by the way, my G. The nobody. Lara was running against Canelo. Well, a lot of people to this day felt Lara beat Canelo. But till this day, people are like, nah. Lara put all type of hands. So you're talking about he was running. Meanwhile, a bunch of people feel like he beat him. It's all about perspective, buddy. It's all about perspective. Angry Mexican. Lucy, I will say I think Floyd's best prime win was Corrales. Damn, that was a very impressive win, my peoples. Floyd Mayweather versus Chico Corrales. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something funny about that fight. I'm going to tell you something that you did not know. This is why Box Center, my people, gives you actual useful information, baby. Because there's some people talking boxing that don't know shit about boxing. I'm not going to put nobody on the spot. But when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, you did not know that Diego Chico Corrales was the last time in Floyd Mayweather's career where he was the underdog. I bet you didn't know that. Floyd was the underdog versus Chico Corrales. And after he won that fight in destructive fashion, of course, he was never the underdog in his entire career again. There you go. You learn something new. So when you argue with people, you can throw that in there. Motherfucker, you didn't even know that Floyd Mayweather. Almost busted my ass playing with y'all. But yeah, my peoples, that was the last time that Floyd was the underdog versus Diego Chico Corrales. And y'all saw that was a pure destruction. In fact, when having a conversation with people about Terence Crawford and the way that he destroyed Canelo Alvarez, I've said, yo, Floyd Mayweather's destruction of Chico Corrales was probably the last time we saw an undefeated fighter get dominated thoroughly and just beat up badly. That's the last time that we've seen a beating like that of an undefeated champion. I mean, think about it. If you think about the way that Crawford beat Errol Spence, who else of this entire era would you say was an undefeated champion and got beat up like that? I don't know, B. I really couldn't answer that, my peoples. Eric Gomes, Canelo check butt. Bust scared and shook. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I see a Crawford that's ready to whoop Canelo, confident, real confident. Been going all in his face, telling him I'ma whoop your ass. Matter of fact, Crawford told Canelo to his face, I'm gonna make you just a regular dude. You're gonna be one of them. You're gonna be one of them now. Crawford, yo, I'm telling y'all, man, he's poised to make history. But with the people who are so confident that Canelo's gonna win and he's gonna knock Crawford out and all that stuff, I want to see what reaction you guys are going to have when it goes the other way around. And I'm wondering, are you guys going to have the same reaction that you did when you thought Errol was going to beat Crawford and Crawford beat him? Because that's the one thing that I noticed. A lot of the people who said Errol was going to beat him and Errol was too big, now y'all saying Canelo's gonna beat him and Canelo's too big. It's like almost the same exact crowd. And then the funny thing is that now that same crowd is like, nah, I knew he was gonna beat Errol. I knew it, I said it. Now all of a sudden everybody knew he was gonna beat Errol. Damn, people be lying, B. Why y'all be lying? Stop lying. The nobody. Rewatch the Lara fight. In the fourth round, Lara was damn near on the other side of the ring, with Canelo was in the center. Yo, stop it. A lot of people saw Lara winning that fight. Why you lying? Why you lying? Stop lying. Stop it. Lucy Rosales lost against Castillo. Oh man, Lucy, you're on denial. Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated. I can't even read that whole thing of that, all of those lies. Come on now. Eric Gomes, but poised to go to sleep. Bro, that's what I'm telling you. You're talking about he gonna go to sleep. What happens if it doesn't go that way? Like the next day, when Crawford beat Canelo, the next day. Nah, Lucy, that's not BS. Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated. Now, if you want to say, I felt like he lost those fights, or I believe that he should, but for you to flat out say that he lost them, come on, man, stop. You know that's not true. What you believe and the facts do not coincide. That's BS. You got to coincide with the facts. But come on, my peoples. How can we even say that this fight is not huge historically? Well, we got two pound for pound champions, two undisputed champions, two guys who've been undisputed in two divisions, both of them. Crawford would become the only fighter in history to be undisputed in a third division should he win. If Canelo wins, he'll be the first guy to dethrone Terence Crawford. Come on now. Freed me Morex. Terence will beat Canelo. That's how I see it. By unanimous decision. Dave Alvarado, Crawford gonna be exposed. I mean, I don't know how could you say that he's going to be exposed? How is a multi-division champion, multi-undisputed champion, reigning champion, undefeated fighter exposed? What are you suggesting? That Crawford is not a good fighter? That he's a bum? That he's a hype job? That come on, man. Y'all gotta stop that, bro. What do you mean exposed? When you say that Crawford is gonna be exposed, and I say this respectfully, but you sound like you don't know shit about boxing, bro. What you mean he's gonna be exposed? A guy who's been pound for pound number one. What? You see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Look, when y'all think that anytime a fighter lose, they got exposed. Come on, man. There's two great fighters gonna fight. So if he win and Canelo lose, Canelo got exposed? Like that's how y'all doing it? Anytime a guy lose, he got exposed. Come on, man. Stop. Like if Crawford lose this fight and retires the same day, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Still. And you talk about he got exposed. Come on, stop. Freed me Morex. I've studied the fight and Crawford will win via UD. Canelo isn't going to win. That's how I see it as well, my guy. I see Crawford using not just the technical resources, but his size advantage. Everybody who talks about Canelo's power, right? Power, he's strong. Crawford's not going to handle the power. We already seen Canelo lose twice. We already know two people handle his power just fine. We already know two people outboxed him just fine. But the advantage that Canelo got, which y'all perceive it to be power, you cling on to it. But then the advantage that Crawford has, you act like it doesn't exist. Crawford is taller and has a reach advantage. My peoples, I fought in the amateurs. I fought in the professionals. Ask if you know a fighter or if you follow a fighter on social media, ask them. If you never fought, you may not understand the significance of a reach advantage. So while you're focusing on power, you're not realizing that Crawford has a crazy reach advantage on Canelo. He's going to be able to punch Canelo in the face while Canelo is outside of his own punching range. And who has the better footwork in this fight? Terence Crawford has the better footwork. So I'm giving you the ingredients that are there, and you don't want to see it. Come fight night, you will. That's all I'm telling you. Moses the Messenger, you've been coming up in my feed for the past few days and seem to be pretty well knowledgeable. I'd like to ask your advice. Appreciate you dropping in, Moses. Go ahead, man. Shoot. If I can give you a good advice, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll let you know that I'm not fit for it. Eric Gomes. Bug going to sleep. Ay, pobrecito. Yo, you see how you're saying Bug going to sleep? I feel like when Canelo lands a big shot and Crawford stands right there in front of him, you're going to be scared for Canelo. Because you're banking so much on Canelo's going to boom and just land a big shot and sleep him, that when that shot doesn't come, you're going to start being scared for him. When you see Canelo getting punched in the face, left and right, with all type of left hooks and right uppercuts from the southpaw and orthodox stance. Come on, man. Dave Alvarado, Canelo gonna be exposed. Stop, bro. Nobody's getting exposed. It's two great fighters, and one is gonna win. I got Crawford winning by unanimous decision. Everybody already knows that. But nobody's getting exposed, my people. It's two great fighters. Look, both have been at the top of the pound-for-pound list. Both have been undisputed in multiple divisions. Both have beaten multiple world champions. Come on now, man. Nobody's getting exposed. If you have two great fighters facing each other, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That doesn't mean anybody's getting exposed. Feed me more X. The only Mexican fighter who makes the most money is a white Mexican. Hasn't ever been an Aztec Mexican in that position. What does that tell you? I don't know. Honestly, it really doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me anything that Canelo's a great fighter. Gabriel Puroy, great comment, partner. Appreciate it, my G. Ozzy, by the way, if this is your first time joining the show, this here is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. So you know it, my peoples, Mondays through Fridays, you don't have to wake up in the morning looking goofy as hell because you're thinking about boxing, but you don't have nobody to talk about it with. You're over there eating your breakfast like thinking about the fights and shit. Looking goofy as hell. Nope. Now you come to Boxing for Breakfast and enjoy the show. You could chime in, argue, debate. Enjoy boxing early in the morning before you get your day started, my peoples. Ozzy, William Score didn't have a problem with Canelo's power. Bivol didn't have a problem with Canelo's power. Floyd didn't have a problem. Lara didn't have a problem. Come on now. The Nobody 22 best bet to win this fight is outbox Canelo. I mean, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to outbox him. He has the physical resources and technical as well to outbox him. That's exactly what he's going to do. Ozzy, people don't give William Score credit for his distance management. His distance management, I like the way you phrase that. Look, William Score, he was not there to win. He was there to not get knocked out. And he got himself a moral victory because he could say, oh, I went the distance with Canelo Alvarez. He wasn't there to win, my peoples. Like, that fight, that's the reason why it wasn't entertaining. William Score, elite level footwork, Cuban fighter, moving all over the place, and Canelo standing on quicksand. Y'all know he don't got footwork to save his life. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's the combination. Styles make fights. Those two styles, that's what we got from it. Eric Gomes, everyone Canelo fights has reach advantage. Stop it. Everyone he fights is not Terence Crawford. That's what you don't understand. The people that beat him and the people that gave him problem had a reach advantage. Dimitri Bivol had a reach advantage. Lara, who people thought whooped him, had a reach advantage. Triple G had a reach advantage. So the people who have put hands on them had a reach advantage. Come on now. Champ, someone's going to do the stanky leg this fight. And it's going to be, if someone does the stanky leg, it's going to be Canelo. But if anything, he ain't going to do the stanky leg. He going to be doing the cha-cha-cha up in there. What's your thoughts on Miguel Cotto? Oh, Miguel Cotto's a great fighter. First battle Hall of Famer. A guy who was really about that smoke. Miguel Cotto is someone who wanted to fight everyone. So I got mad respect for Cotto. He had a lot of real great wins in his career. And like I said, that's what I think of Miguel Cotto. He's a great fighter, my guy. DJ Smiley Taylor, facts. I got Crawford. He destroyed Spence. You see? And that's why I feel like this fight, the narrative is very similar to when he was gonna fight Errol Spence. Because everybody's saying the same thing. It all boils down to size. Oh, he's smaller. Spence was bigger. People predicting that Spence was gonna stop him, that he was gonna break him down to the body and all this stuff. And look at the way that fight played out. Meanwhile, we see a Crawford that destroyed the guy that was supposed to beat him. Now he's going to fight once again the guy that's supposed to beat him. What you think is going to happen, man? Y'all didn't learn from Errol. Now you're going to learn again. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, my people, this thing is going to be hilarious. I'm getting the same vibes. This is the vibes that I was getting when he was going to fight Errol. And I was trying to tell everybody, yo, Crawford is going to stop Errol Spence in 8 or 9 rounds. And people was like, yo, you delusional. You're delusional. You don't know what you're talking about, Jay. You don't know shit about boxing. Because the funny thing is that oftentimes the people that say you don't know shit about boxing are the ones that don't know shit about boxing. And look what happened. When Crawford put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Errol Spence, everybody said they knew it was going to happen. Now everybody saw it happening. Now the car accident came back. Now the eye came back. Now every single excuse in the planet came back. Yo, y'all had more excuses for Errol Spence than Wilder had excuses for himself when Fury whooped him. Come on, man. Moses the messenger. How or what exercises should I do to strengthen my core? I mean, there's a lot of different exercises that you can do to strengthen your core. You definitely have to do sit-ups. Definitely. Because your abs, you got to get your abs strong. And then, you know that exercise where you lay on a bench and you're kind of doing the opposite of sit-ups? That's a workout. That's great for the core as well. And there's multiple. Honestly, I'm not a gym expert. I'm not an expert in the matter. Those two I know are very good for the core. But I would say look it up, because that's not something that I don't want to fucking get you injured and shit trying to suggest stuff that I don't even know. So I gave you two that I know are very good for the core, but then I would suggest do a little research. Eric Gomes, score a track star. And Canelo's a turtle. That's the thing. A turtle's not going to catch a track star. Dave Alvarado, what's your take on Pac versus Barrios? I've been saying it, my peoples. Manny Pacquiao is a fighter who I will not underestimate after what he did to Keith Thurman. I actually had predicted that Keith was going to put the beats on him. I was like, yo, Keith is going to put all type of hands on him. And we saw how that fight played out. So now I'm like, I know Manny Pacquiao, 46 years old, but I respect that he's an all-time great. He's a guy. And this is what's important to me, my peoples. I want you to take this into consideration. Manny Pacquiao, ever since he's been Christian, which is for many years already, he doesn't consume alcohol. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't party. You see him always in great shape. Even when he's not fighting, you see him in good shape. So because of that, I believe that he could get himself in great shape and pull off the upset. I believe it. And by the way, to the people that say, oh, look, because when he did his exhibition, he didn't look so good. So my peoples, forget about that exhibition. You can forget about that exhibition. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's an exhibition. It's not a real fight, my peoples. Manny Pacquiao didn't go through a full training camp for that. He wasn't training for real. He wasn't training to actually win a fight. It's an exhibition, my peoples. Come on. They did it, picked up a nice little check, cool. But to say, yo, nah, man, he's not going to look good against Barrios because he didn't look good in the exhibition. I already saw him in a training video for this training camp, and he's looking mad fast and sharp. You know how he do? So, nah, don't get it twisted. And I was watching a video where Zab Judah predicts that Manny Pacquiao is going to win that fight. Fraud. Mexican for Bud. Let's go, Bud. What's the deal, Fraud? Appreciate you dropping in, my G. I got Crawford winning. Unanimous decision. It is what it is. That's why I hope, September 14th, that episode of Boxing for Breakfast is going to be serious. Because it's going to turn into a roasting session. Everybody who's talking about Canelo's going to watch Crawford, Canelo's too big, Canelo's going to smoke him. On September 14th, in that episode of Boxing for Breakfast, y'all getting roasted. You're gonna have to explain yourselves. You're gonna have to explain yourselves. Cause I've been trying to tell you how it's gonna go down the whole time. And y'all didn't listen. September 14th, we're gonna politic. We're gonna politic on September 14th. Ozzy, they already pre-preparing excuses for Canelo. I've already heard they're gonna rob Canelo. Ah! Oh my God! They already listen. The thing is, yo, when a fighter's great, he take your excuses from you. So it's not even gonna be the type of fight that you could call it a robbery. Crawford is gonna beat his ass. So they're gonna have to admit it's gonna be a different type of excuse. Maybe Canelo didn't feel well. Maybe Canelo the day before in the hotel, they tried to poison him, gave him something that and he couldn't perform. There's gonna be some type of excuse, man. I know that there's people that no matter what happens, they could not give Crawford the credit. They can't. They just can't do it. That's why they want to act. They want to have that fake confidence. I'm sure Canelo is gonna knock him out because it's gonna break their heart just to even think that Crawford could win that fight. CZR. So whoever Bud wants to fight, Bud will win. I mean, he's not gonna let me say something because I'm not sure where you're going with this. Crawford is not gonna stay at 168. That's number one, CZR. He's not gonna fight other people at 168 or move up and fight at 175. So for the people that want to see him lose badly and want to find opponents for him, that's not gonna happen. Now, if he goes down to back down to 154, he beats everybody there. If he goes down, decides to fight again, he's beating everybody. Yes, that is correct. GHB TV. Good morning, chat. Good morning, my brother. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. Moses the Messenger. I understand and I greatly appreciate it, sir. I have you locked. Appreciate it, my G. Nerd. It's no secret. Crawford and Turk out here playing grab ass. Canelo has to KO Bud or he will get robbed. I mean, you're into conspiracies. You're making stuff up out of thin air about Canelo getting robbed. Cool. I guess this is because you understand that Canelo has no possibility of actually outboxing Crawford and beating him on the cards. So when it does go to the card and Crawford win, you're going to want to say, oh, he got robbed. But guess what? It's not going to be a robbery because Crawford is going to whoop his ass. So even you're going to say, yeah, he beat him. They didn't need Turkey or nobody to rob nobody. Crawford whooped his ass. That's all it's going to go down to. Ain't nobody getting robbed. Ozzy, imagine in the future they call it a cherry pick. Man, listen, you never know. Crawford haters always find a way to not give him credit. That's why I say, and you know what's funny? The funny thing about this, yo, Crawford beating Canelo will be one of the biggest wins in boxing history. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. One of the biggest wins in boxing history. So it's gonna, this is one of the fights that people will be talking about for generations and generations. Like, this is Crawford's era with that win. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Ozzy. Oh no, nerd, fraud. You ain't no Mexican. Oh man. Fake Mexican? Come on, man. You can't be claiming what you not. Stop it. Stop it. Yo, my peoples, what y'all thought about Abdullah Mason? I mean, what y'all thought about Floyd Schofield and what he did to Tevin Farmer? What do honestly, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to beat him. But a first round, explosive, devastating knockout like that, I didn't see it coming. If I tell you I saw that knockout coming, I will be lying to you. First round, listen, Tevin Farmer can fight. Do not disrespect Tevin Farmer. You could say whatever you want. Obviously, he's past his prime. Been through a lot of wars. Been through a lot. I get that. And part of the reason why I picked Floyd Scofield to beat him is because I said, nah, yo, the age difference, the strength difference, there's too much in Scofield's favor. That's why I had it that way. But I did not see a first round knockout, my peoples. Real talk, I did not see that. So, prediction, my people. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Who y'all got winning that fight? And how you got it happening? Are we going to see a stoppage? Or is this fight going the distance? What y'all think about that fight? Because Floyd Scofield, he didn't really call out Shakur. He didn't say, I want to... And they gave him the opportunity. They say, yo, you want to call anybody out? And he didn't flat out call him out. But he did say, Shakur, you better focus on William Zepeda because he's going after you. So if he's saying that, what are we talking about? So this is what I foresee happening. Floyd Scofield may actually be at that fight. And if Shakur Stevenson beats Zepeda, they're going to bring him on the ring. They're going to bring him onto the ring. And he's going to call out Shakur. Shakur's going to accept the challenge and proceed to put a beating on him. But I digress. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, I feel like Shakur has a chip on his shoulder, you know, because the whole narrative about Shakur running, Shakur being boring, and all that stuff that his haters want to spread as the main narrative. So I believe we're going to see the Shakur Stevenson that we saw against Jamel Herring. We're going to see the Shakur Stevenson that put the beats on Oscar Valdez. And people are going to be impressed because if you notice, the narrative around Shakur right now is almost like every one of his fights is Edwin De Los Santos. People forget about any opponent that Shakur whooped their ass, put the beats on them. People forgot about it. It's almost like they disappeared from his resume in people's minds. And Shakur only fought Edwin De Los Santos. That's it. But because of that, I feel like he doesn't just want to beat Zepeda, he wants to whoop him. He wants to put all type of hands, just nasty work. And we're going to see it. So, and Zepeda knows. He's already said that he's going to try to knock Shakur out. He knows that he's not going to outbox him. He knows that he's not going to win on the cards. Like, it's nearly impossible for William Zepeda to beat Shakur Stevenson on the cards. He knows this. He said he's got to knock him out, and he's going to. Guess what? A fighter being overly aggressive and coming forward and having that sense of urgency that they got to stop you, they make a lot of mistakes. He's going to make a lot of mistakes. Shakur's going to catch him coming in. Shakur's going to be catching him with counter punches. And let's see if this fight actually goes the distance. But guess what? If Shakur, I'm predicting it for you guys right now. If Shakur Stevenson stops William Zepeda, instead of giving him credit for the stoppage, people are going to start discrediting Zepeda. Oh, he ain't nobody though. Like if Shakur destroys him, looking spectacular, instead of people saying, wow, Shakur looks spectacular in this fight, they're going to say, nah, but Zepeda, he ain't really all that. You know, who he beat? Who Zepeda beat? He ain't nobody. Like, that's the way that people roll when they just want to hate on you. When they can't acknowledge, you know, what they're seeing is something special. Can't accept him. But let's see what's next after Zapata. That's what I want to see. And by the way, if you don't think Shakur is special, you have to ask yourself, why Tank Davis been ducking Shakur? Why? Why he been ducking him for the last 2 years already? Why? And by the way, my peoples, it's 30 something of us in the building, and I got 12 likes, man. Y'all ducking that like button the same way Tank Davis ducking Shakur. So Tank, he need to fight Shakur. Stop playing ASAP. And the same way y'all need to hit that like button. Boom, ASAP. Oh, I see. There, one of you say, yeah, fuck it. Let me fuck with Jay Smith and hit that like button. He rocking with us. He giving us this boxing for breakfast. It's worth it. Come on now. My peoples, by the way, in that same card that Shakur Stevenson is gonna fight, we're gonna see Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. And I promise you, this is gonna be fireworks. We're gonna see bombs away. A fight is gonna break out, possibly even in the first round. A fight, I'm telling you, my peoples, Berlanga versus Shiraz is gonna be explosive. Know that. They're gonna go at it. So let's see how that plays out. I've been off of the Berlanga bandwagon. Bertha Gomes, I'm about to clock in at my job. It's 4:11 a.m. in California. Bertha, appreciate you dropping in. You already know it, man. Boxing for breakfast. Don't forget, Mondays through Fridays, early in the morning. Come through, man. Get your healthy dosage of sweet science. Chris Maiello, good morning, new here. Hello. Y'all from Queens, New York. What's the deal, my G? Bam. Salute. Boxing for breakfast, man. Boxing for breakfast. This is the 5th episode. And for the people who's new, I want to tell you guys that the reason why I came up with boxing for breakfast is because, I will wake up in the morning thinking about the fights, wondering who's going to fight, next, if these two guys are gonna meet in the ring, if Shakur is gonna fight Tank, if Crawford gonna knock Canelo out. Like, I'm thinking all these things, but I don't really have nobody to talk to, because if you think about it, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, everybody in your house is not a hardcore boxing fan like yourself. They don't want to be talking about boxing with your ass, so you just kind of like thinking about it. I'm eating my breakfast thinking about, damn, Crawford's gonna whoop. And then I say, you know what? There has to be a lot of boxing fans who are on the same boat as me, thinking about boxing. We over here eating breakfast, looking goofy as hell. Talk about, damn, I wonder what happened with this fight. And I wonder what happened with that fight. Goofy as hell just thinking about it. Well, that's it. No more. Now you got boxing for breakfast early in the morning to talk boxing with your peoples. Bertha Gomes, I won 300 with Floyd on Saturday. I bet 50 for knockout. Ooh, good stuff, good stuff. That was a good bet. And it's funny because the same day of the fight, I had a lot of people in here telling me, nah, Jay, Tevin Farmer's gonna pull off the upset. He's gonna upset. He's a veteran, and he's gonna use his IQ, and got packed in, got beat up, pummeled. Cause I tell you what, man, and I was saying that yesterday. One quality that Floyd Schofield has, which you can't teach this. There is no teacher for this. There's no way that you can teach it. He has that killer instinct. That's not something you could teach a fighter. If Floyd hurt you, he's trying to get you out of it ASAP. He's not going to spend any time with buttering you up. He's trying to bait you up and get you out of it. And that's something that you, like I said, man, you can't teach a fighter to have a killer instinct. They either have it or they don't. Bertha Gomes. Hey, real quick, what's going on boxing this weekend? This weekend, I'm not sure who's fighting. Because the following weekend, we got that Shakur Stevenson card. And Edgar Berlanga, Subriel. Yeah, and Puello and Matias this weekend. No, my brother. That's not this weekend. That's next week. They're fighting. Puello and Matias are fighting on the same card as Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. That's on that card too. And by the way, that's a very good fight. You know, Subriel Matias, ever since he lost his title, he had two fights already. And he won, but those were versus lower level opponents. Let's see. He's trying to become a world champion once again. Alberto Puello is a good fighter, man. He's a tough fighter. And Subriel, it's going to be a tough fight for Subriel Matias. You know why? Because Alberto Puello is going to have the height and reach advantages, but he also has very good footwork. You know, moves very good around the ring. He's going to be up to Subriel Matias to cut him off and follow him. And Alberto Puello is a guy who he's going to let his hands go. As soon as Subriel close the gap, he's going to let his hands go. And that's the one thing. That's my one knock on Subriel Matias. He takes too much punishment, man. He takes too many punishment. He'll walk right in through the front door and get punched in the face. So let's see how this fight plays out. I see this. I don't even know who's going to be the favorite, to be honest with you. I see this like a 50-50 fight. I see this like it's a 50-50. Like, we have the boxer versus the puncher. Let's see who's going to impose their style. The boy-eccentric videos. I have Floyd winning, but I was shocked by the first round knockout. Me too, my guy. I thought this fight was... I had Floyd winning too, but I had him knocking Farmer out in the 8th or the 9th. First round knockout like that. But it's like I said, man, Floyd is a killer. As soon as he landed a shot and he heard Tevin Farmer, it was a wrap. I knew he was going to go after him. And he did. That's what he does. Bertha Gomes. I'm bet Matias for the knockout. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if it goes to the cards, I think Matias will have problems. I don't know if he's going to be able to outbox Alberto Puello. So I'm thinking that the knockout is probably going to be the objective. They're going to try to get him out of there. Because, Alberto Puello can box. He can box. And Subriel Matias, if you watch him, he's had problems with that type of fighter, that type of style. Subriel, I would say he's the type of boxer who he prefers an opponent that's gonna cooperate, that's gonna stand there and trade with him. Let's go at it. Come on. Not a guy who he's gonna have to use that forward to chase him around. But Matias by knockout, it could happen. Matias got that explosive power, my G. Matias can explode any given moment. And boom, it's over. And that's the thing, Subriel Matias, that's why people consider him the boogeyman in the first place. He has one-punch knockout power. Like, he could break you down and stop you, or he could land a big shot and send you straight to Valhalla. John Parham, salute, my brother. Bam, appreciate you dropping in, my G. That boy eccentric videos. Matias is going to have to catch him early. And I'm telling you, that boy can fight. That boy can fight. When we're talking about Alberto Puello, he can fight. He got real good footwork. And that's why I say, Subriel Matias, I don't like the fact that if you watch him, a lot of his fight he does that. He'll walk straight in. Boom, boom, boom. And he's counter-punching. Boom, boom. But he's taking so much punishment. Good morning, Ryan. He takes too much punishment. So now you got somebody like Subriel Matias, who's a hard puncher but takes a lot of punishment, versus Alberto Puello, who can box, who got footwork, who can move. He can have problems. Déjame oírla. Okay, we got Greg Hackett in the chat. Ooh, Greg Hackett in the building. Yo, Greg Hackett, salute, my G. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. If you want to chime in, Greg, with your expertise, share any insight, We definitely gonna appreciate it. Hit the like button. Yo, my peoples, I'm telling you, it's 30 something of us in the building and 16 likes. Some of y'all ducking that like button like Tank Davis is ducking Shakur. Stop playing with me. Stop the insanity and the madness. Which, by the way, my peoples, by the way, this card, do you guys think that we're gonna get upsets? Is anybody gonna be upset? Sí. Mira. Let me finish the show. Go with mommy. I'm gonna finish the show. More. So, guys, who you guys, little man, always looking for pops? Hell yeah. That's my little bro. That's my little man's right there. So, does anybody got Hamza Shiraz defeating Edgar Berlanga? Does anybody see Shiraz beating Berlanga? That's the magic question. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. And I've been saying it. Ever since Edgar Berlanga, not since he fought Canelo, before fighting Canelo, he had problems with a couple of fighters that he faced. And I watched him struggle. Like, he won those fights, but he struggled with guys who weren't, world champion caliber fighters. And, I kind of been down on him. And seeing him the way that he fought Canelo, that was so disappointing, my peoples. That was so disappointing. Like, he was there for a moral victory. He was there to make it the distance and say, look, Canelo didn't stop me, though. I went 12 with Canelo. Like, that's bragging rights. You didn't see any type of aggressiveness. You didn't see anything like he was actually trying to take it from Canelo. He picked up a check and went the distance. Good stuff. So, kind of been down on Berlanga. Hamza Shiraz is somebody that he can fight. Tall guy, good reach, good footwork, power. I'm expecting a competitive fight. If Edgar Berlanga is able to get past Hamza Shiraz, I'm rocking with him. I'm like, okay. You got it, family. You in the building again. But right now, honestly, I don't know if Edgar Berlanga is going to be one of these guys who is good, but when he fights the top level guys, he get beat up. I don't know if he's going to be one of those. Right now, with the way that he fought Canelo, I don't know with Edgar Berlanga. So I want to see what's going to happen with Hamza Shiraz. Stavi, I got Berlanga. Okay. Let's see. Berlanga's saying that he's going to put the baits on Shiraz. Let's see. Hash Bass. It's a possibility Shakur gets upset because he's not healthy. I doubt it. Even the odds, because it's a possibility anybody get upset, but I doubt it. I don't see that. I see Zapata as easy work for Shakur. John Pound Hash, I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah, I'm surprised. He took long enough. Stavi, Berlanga never should have been fighting Canelo. We all know that. All right, he should have never been fighting Canelo, but he did. That's the problem. That if that's gonna be your excuse, that's a horrible one. He should have never been. He did. Got his ass whooped too easily. Jose Gonzalez. If Crawford beats Canelo, he's on the Mount Rushmore, correct. If Canelo beats Crawford, does that just go down as another name he beat because he jumped up so much weight? Or do you give him his props? So, Jose Gonzalez, this is what we got to understand. Both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are pound-for-pound fighters. They've both been undisputed in multiple divisions. They've both accomplished a lot. So, regardless of who wins, is going to be a huge win for their resume. If Canelo wins, he'll be the guy to dethrone Crawford. He'll be the guy, the first one to say, I beat Terence Bud Crawford. That would be huge for his career. Crawford, imagine if Crawford retired with the only loss to Canelo Alvarez. That win would be huge for Canelo, of course. It's only Crawford haters spreading that narrative, my brother. It's only Crawford haters spreading that narrative. No. Either fighter who wins, either of the two fighter who wins is gonna be huge. They're adding a a monster win to their resume. Jamie Gibling, Jay Opataya kills any fighter. Yo, Jay Opataya can fight. He can fight. He's a monster. We was talking about the possibility of him and Surdo yesterday. And I was like, listen, man, Surdo, he won, but he looked slow, man. In this victory from Saturday, he looked slow. I feel like Jay Opataya will wash him. Wash him. I'm talking about on spin cycle. John Parent, Jose, it goes both ways, in my opinion. Dry turkey, Canelo never should have gotten spanked by Floyd the way he did. So do you toss Canelo out after that? I mean, if you think about it, after losing to Floyd Mayweather, Canelo got better. Immediately. Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather, and immediately in the following fight, you saw a better Canelo. And slowly but surely, you started seeing him get better and better. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So, taking a loss doesn't mean that a fighter's career is over. It doesn't mean that they won't be able to accomplish anymore. Nobody even takes that into consideration, what Canelo's career was before he got in the ring with Floyd and what it was after. And I'm going to remind you guys that when Floyd beat Canelo, a lot of people said, listen, man, Canelo got exposed. He's done. Look at that. After people said that Canelo got exposed, he beat a bunch of champions en route to becoming the face of boxing. How do you get exposed and beat a bunch of champions, keep moving up, keep beating champions, keep becoming undisputed, but you got exposed? So a loss does not mean that a fighter got exposed. Fans of boxing have to stop doing this. Have to stop saying, if he lose, he got exposed. Or as soon as a fighter lose, look, he got exposed, he lost. I mean, if two fighters are great and they fight each other, somebody's gonna lose. Somebody's gonna lose, my peoples. That don't mean nobody got exposed, man. Come on. John Parent, Canelo was 22 when he lost to Floyd. I think at 27, Canelo would have a better go at Floyd. Nah, he was 23. Or Google it. I'm almost sure he was 23. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, I need to refresh my recollection. Can somebody verify? Yeah, there we go, 23. So, I would say he would have had a better shot at 27. But the thing is that by the time he was 27, Floyd would have been 40. Then it wouldn't have been fair. So I think the fight happened when it could have, because Floyd was already 36 years old. That's at the tail end of your career. How much time, could have passed before now you got a Canelo fighting a completely washed up Floyd. So I think that's just the way that it played out. Jose Gonzalez, I love the non-biased reporting, brother. I would just hate to see Canelo not get his flowers. Do you think Crawford has been weight bullying? And will a loss of Canelo in Crawford's natural weight confirm that he was weight bullying? So no, Crawford is not a weight bullying, hasn't been weight bullying. Like, that term doesn't even match him. The thing about weight bullying is that fans, they only want to use it with the fighters that they don't like. So you find a way to make it fit that fighter. But Terence Crawford is a guy who fought at 135. moving up gradually at 135, at 140, at 147, for years for at 147, at 154. Now he's jumping multiple divisions to a division where he will be real small. So there's nothing about his entire career that says weight bully. If anything, he's been the smaller guy, the underdog. Look, just imagine this, my brother. You're asking me if Crawford is weight bullying. Meanwhile, just 2 years ago, my G, when he was gonna fight Errol Spence, people were saying that he's too little. Errol was too big. He was gonna get smoked. So how he went from being too little at 147 versus Errol to now he's a weight bully. That don't even make no sense. So it's not that he's a weight bully. It's that he's a special athlete that's gonna move up and do what most fighters will never be able to do. Come on now, he's doing something special. We gotta stop trying to look for a negative spin. Oh, is he a weight bully? You're looking for a negative spin on Crawford, my guy. Well, he's not. He's doing nothing but out there trying to make history. Marcus Golden, no, Crawford is a small dude. Come on now. Come on, weight bully. Hash Bash. Fighters do get exposed. Did Thurman get exposed by Collazo even though Keith won the fight? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? They keep get exposed. You're talking about a fighter that had been inactivity. Come on now. Come on now. You want to expose ring rust? Come on now. Stop. Stop, Hash Bash. Dry turkey. Okay, put up a super that me and Jay Smith. Have Canelo 23 and you say 22. John Parham. Dry turkey. John Parham. Super chat. Jamie Giblin. You're right, bro. Jose Gonzalez. No, I completely agree with you. I just wanted to hear your take on it. And let me tell you something, my peoples. I've been saying it. When you have two great fighters, there we go, John Parham, Canelo was 23. Yeah, I remember that. But when you said 22, it kind of shook up my confidence. Like, damn, maybe I don't remember correctly. Sometimes that happens. You think you remember something and you don't. But Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is a fight that people have to realize. You have two great fighters facing each other. Most of the time when that happens, it's gonna be a competitive fight. Yes, once in a while you have two big dogs facing each other and one of them dominates the other. That happens. But you also get a lot of these fights that are very competitive. And that's what we're gonna get with Canelo and Crawford. Vincent Vega, Canelo chose to run from David to fight smaller man. Look, I'm not even going to continue to read what you said, Vincent Vega. You know why? Because Canelo is also a smaller man. Benavidez is huge and Canelo is small. That's why Benavidez had to leave to 175. He was only clinging on to 168 to get the Canelo sweepstake. Canelo didn't fall for it. He went to 175. But since we're talking about weight bully, that's the funny thing. Look, we were saying, somebody was asking, is Terence Crawford a weight bully? But 2 years ago, Terence Crawford was called too small for Errol Spence at the welterweight division. How is he a weight bully? Y'all was just saying he's too small. But he's a weight bully? But David Benavidez, who's huge, fighting at a lower division, he's not a weight bully. You're not going to call him a weight bully trying to fight little ass Canelo Alvarez. ¿Cómo? So that's why the term weight bully, I don't even throw it around and I don't even like it. Because I realize for the most part, More, Baja, more, déjamelo ahí, baja y déjamelo ahí para yo. So yeah, my peoples, you know, when it comes to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, think about the way that it played out. What was the main narrative? That Errol Spence was too big, that he was too strong, that he was gonna knock Crawford out. That was the narrative. And the narrative.
Yo te quiero mucho.
¿Cómo fue que tú me dijiste?
Que te quiero mucho.
That's worth more than anything. Ven,
Ya. Te damos la cuenta.
Ven.
Y después nos vamos.
Ay, mire, tú te vas a montar ahí. Tú te vas a montar ahí, Liru.
Me voy a bajar. Y esto.
Tú te vas a montar ahí.
¿Y por qué me voy a montar?
Hold on, my peoples. My son about to go to school. Y'all know we doing boxing, but I gotta be a father too. Y'all know how we do it. And by the way, he also predicted that Crawford is gonna beat Canelo.
Voy a.
Tú te vas a montar ahí, Liru. I
Bye.
love you. Give me a hug.
Ya me voy a ir.
Ven a montarte.
Ya.
Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Hey, pero está duro. Está duro esa vaina.
Dile bye bye.
Bye, Ryan.
El código es 1481.
Look at the transportation, my people. Y'all don't know about this transportation. What you know about this transportation? That's a cab. Vince Vega, I got Crawford. Telling you. I'm telling you, man, people are underestimating Terence Crawford. It's almost to a level of disrespect. He don't got no power. He can't hit. He's too little. You know, Canelo's just gonna wash him. People, I don't know, man. I feel like, do y'all think that it's just Canelo's just gonna go boom, get him out of there? Come on, man. Champ, that kid loves you. Facts, my brother. And I love him too. That's my everything. I go hard for him. Real talk. Boxing on paper, man, your boy got a cool ride to school. That's how he rolling. He man happy. Moses the messenger, yes sir, take your time. Fatherhood, that's a beautiful thing, man. Listen, ain't nothing better or more amazing than being a father. And that, actually being a father. Actually handling business. But my peoples, I already told you the facts of the situation is that Terence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Look, the quicker you accept it, the less painful it's going to be. The easier you're going to be able to digest the pain that's going to come from it. But if you keep thinking Canelo's going to win, Canelo's going to knock him out, yeah. Then when Crawford put the Swiss, Dre, and Apple beats on him, you're going to be feeling hurt. You're going to be feeling ill. Now you're going to have to be looking for the excuses, like people did with Errol Spence. Now you're going to have to find out if Canelo maybe ate a chalupa and his stomach wasn't feeling good the day of the fight. Oh, yeah, he ate a chalupa the day before, and that's why he didn't feel good. I don't want to hear it. The excuses, whichever excuses people gonna come up with for this fight, whatever they come up with for excuses, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is about to be one of the biggest wins in boxing history, and y'all still gonna find excuses? That's crazy work. Boxing on paper. Who do you want to see Jake Paul fight next? My God, I don't want to see Jake Paul fight next. I wish Jake Paul would retire and we'd be done with his circus show. But if he's going to fight next, I would like to see him fight a boxer around his age and weight. I don't want to see him fight No 40-year-old ex-fighter, no retired fighter. I don't want to see him versus an MMA guy or somebody on YouTube. No, no, no. Fight a guy with about 12 professional fights, about 25, 26 years old, around your size and weight. That's it. That's all I ask of Jake Paul. Do what everybody does and stop doing these strategic cherry picks. I told people Chavez was gonna get beat up and knocked out. I predicted he was gonna get knocked out. Yo, to me, he only went the distance because that shit was a cooking show. That shit came across like a damn cooking show to me. That's why I went the distance. But whatever. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., 40 years old, been in legal trouble, hasn't been a champion since 2012. What was we really expecting from him? What could we really have thought that he was gonna do? What was Julio Cesar Chavez really? That's why I'm like, they're selling to people that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a world champion. And now Jake Paul be the world champion. Come on, bro. He ain't been a champion since 2012. Do y'all realize that in 2012, Jake Paul had not even thought about boxing? He hadn't even thought about the sport in 2012. That's the last time Cesar Chavez Jr. was a champion. Come on, bro. This guy out there getting locked up, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, partying. That's what Jake Paul for. Has been, my people. But they're gonna sell that narrative that he beat a champion. Do what y'all gotta do. Make your money. Jamie Gibling, you should fight Jake, bro. I will fight him. The money right. I will fight him today. John Pound, respectfully, Smith too small for Jake. I mean, I'm too small for Jake, but I fight him. They pay me, I fight him. John Pound, but I'm sure that payday, Jay Smith will take a dive. Whoa, bro, listen. If I get in there with Jake Paul, I'm taking a dive, and that dive is gonna be early. I'm not gonna take no punishment for 4 or 5 rounds before taking that dive. You crazy. The first right hand that lands, dive in. Junior, hey, you should fight that kid from PR that fought Canelo. Nah, bro, you know who I want to fight? I want to fight Charleston White so I can whoop his ass. Get me Charleston. Yeah. John Pound, Tony too old and head issues. D. Murray, truth. When I saw him against Canelo, even his dad was disappointed. Moses the Messenger. In my opinion, Jake Paul is a clown. I mean, I respect that. I understand why you feel that way, my guy, because we see the shenanigans with Jake Paul. In fact, I'm going to tell you exactly why you feel that way right now. The reason why you feel that way is because Jake Paul has put together a career out of not fighting boxers. So he's become a name in boxing without fighting a boxer. And that pisses us off. Seeing him getting in there with Mike Tyson, washed up Woodley, Nate Robinson, a basketball player, a YouTuber, seeing all that and watching this guy become more famous than a lot of great boxers, make more money than a lot of great boxers, it's annoying. It's annoying to see it. But you got ahead of me, John Parham. Very smart man, honestly. But that's where I was going with it. As a businessman, he's done an amazing job. You know why? Because that trolling that he's been doing, acting like he's a champion caliber fighter, acting like he's great himself, like he's elite, that trolling, what it's doing is pissing us off but also popularizing him. It's making him more popular. Because when people dislike you, when a lot of people dislike you, you also become more popular. You don't just become more popular when people like you. You become dislike you too. So Jake Paul, to promote himself, he's done a great job, my people, of promoting himself for people to have an opinion on him. So right now, you either like him or you don't like him, but you have feelings towards Jake Paul. He's not, nobody, none of us will ever say, oh, Jake Paul's irrelevant. I bet you that's the one thing that nobody will say about Jake Paul, that he's irrelevant, because he's not. He's not. He's a, we could say we don't like him. We could say he's a bum. We could say he's a clown, but irrelevant is not. He's one of the biggest stars in boxing right now without even having to fight a single elite level fighter. So that's annoying for most boxing fans. Like, damn, this guy conned his way to that level of power in boxing. So where he could become a powerful promoter, make big paydays, sign huge deals with networks and shit like that, without ever fighting a single elite level fighter. That's crazy. But that means that he's a great businessman. He's been very smart. I promise you, everybody who dislikes Jake Paul and the things that he does, every single one of them, if they could be doing what he's doing now, they would be doing it. So I'm criticizing it, right? I'm like, damn, this guy, who haven't accomplished nothing and making all this money and got all these deals. But if I could be making all that money and I could be having all those deals and I could be getting a huge payday to fight a YouTuber, I will be doing that shit too. And YouTube, y'all will be doing it. But at the end of the day, as fans, we want to see the elite level fighters get that fame and get that money. But you can't knock the player. They say don't hate the player, hate the game. Jake Paul's, he carved his own lane and he's been successful at it. We got to respect it. I respect it. John Parham, Jake and Berlanga is perfect. Oh, I like that fight. I like Jake Paul versus Edgar Berlanga. I like it. John Parham, Hash, have you seen James Toney lately? Yeah, James Toney, I don't know, man. Hash trying to get Tony killed out there. He trying to get him killed. John Parham, even though I think Tony could possibly get Jake, it's not a safe to go to. Nah. Bro. Jake Paul would knock James Toney out brutally. Stop. You see, people got to stop thinking that 60-year-old fighters can come back and beat young men because they were good. No. That's it. At 60, you've reached an age where your hand-eye coordination is done. You reach an age where your reaction time is done. Jake Paul would absolutely pummel James Toney brutally if they fought right now. Come on now. That's why, to me, my people, listen, and this is real talk. I find it funny when people say that Mike Tyson, if he wanted to, he could have knocked Jake Paul out. He just didn't want to. I'm like, damn, yo, motherfuckers just think that athletes are going to be strong for their whole lives and Father Time just doesn't do nothing to their body. What's wrong with people? Like, if you were already, listen, my peoples, if you were already on this channel, then I was telling y'all Jake Paul was going to beat Mike Tyson up. I was telling you this. Father Time is undefeated. Come on now. Jose Gonzalez, who you got? Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason. I would like to see that fight. My brother, I was dying to see Keyshawn and Abdullah mix it up. That fight, unfortunately, is not going to happen, because Keyshawn Davis vacated his 135 WBO title to go to 140. If you recall, he couldn't make weight, and that's why his fight with De Los Santos got canceled. So for now, we're not gonna get Keyshawn versus Abdullah. Keyshawn is gonna be at 140, and Abdullah Mason is most likely gonna fight for that vacant WBO title because he was gonna be mandatory for Keyshawn. You know what I would like to see? That's a vacant strap. Yo, Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield. Let them fight for that vacant strap. That's a good one. Orange Man Fan Club. Plus, he's been hit a few times, and his speech says it all. Yo, James Toney's speech isn't the best these days. So, I wouldn't suggest he get punched in the head. Forget that. He don't need to be fighting. John Parham. Jose Keyshawn right now, but in 2 years. Hit the like button, my peoples. Hell yeah, appreciate it, John Parham. 34 of us, 24 likes, man. Y'all doing me wrong. Like I'm giving y'all garbage content over here. Hash Bass. Keyshawn didn't vacate. He lost his belt on the scale. Oh, well, yeah, well, same deal, whatever. Keyshawn lost his belt on the scale. It's still the same deal. Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield, I would like to see them fight for that vacant strap. Ernest Morales. Jake is his own promoter and has mega deals in boxing, WWE, perfume, clothes, real estate. He get his deserved props. But I would say, there's still that narrative out there that Jake is a fake boxer and that he's not a real boxer and all that stuff. And that has to stop. That's why he's still not getting his respect. People not wanting to acknowledge him as a legitimate boxer. And the argument is not about whether or not he's elite. We know he's not. He'll never be. It's about, is he a boxer? Yes, he is. Without a doubt. John Parham, Ernest, and Prime. Junior C, Berlanga, or nothing, Jake. I mean, I'd like to see Jake Paul and Berlanga. That would be a good fight. Love more Hinduism. Surdo is trash. I don't think he's trash, but, speed is a problem. He looked really, really slow in his last fight. Frank, Mason, and Rollies. I like that fight. I like it. Let's see what's next for Rollies. He got a big win versus Ryan Garcia. Let's see if he's going to segue that into a big fight. Let's see. John Caraballo. You think Jake is a culture vulture? I don't think he's a culture vulture. I think he's more of an opportunist. I would say he's an opportunist. Why? Because look what he's doing with women's boxing, right? He putting all these women on. But in reality, I don't believe that he's doing that with women's boxing to, because he's got the love for the women and want to help them. And I think he's doing that as a way to legitimize Jake Paul in boxing. Because his boxing career is always going to be viewed as a circus show. But in women's boxing, he got world champions. He got Amanda Serrano and other female, great fighters. So he's a legit promoter. Now he's in. He's actually legitimate in boxing, not his circus show career. So once he stops boxing, he'll be able to focus, and it's going to be a real career. Because I'm telling you, his boxing career is a circus show. And I don't think he'll ever be able to get out of that image. Man, you look at the people that you're fighting, bro. Your whole career, that's what you've been fighting. But he's legitimate in women's boxing. So, I think he got into women's boxing to become legit. As opposed to, it's for the love, for the want to help them and want to... Nah, Jake Paul thinking about himself. Boxing on paper. You think Sebastian Fundora is overrated? Hell no. Why would I think that? Sebastian Fundora is a reigning world champion. A guy who's been in some real good fights. And listen, I'm going to tell you like this, man. World champions who beat top level opposition to become world champions are never overrated. It's just that they have a lot of haters. So they're going to find people that are going to say they're overrated. But hell no. You're a reigning world champion. John Pound, Rolly just got baptized. So does he stop eating crayons? Oh, I seen that he was in a trip in Cuba. By the way, yo, now that you mention Rollies, my peoples, you know that there's a lot of fighters that not a lot, some fighters that I be talking to, that I be back and forth with. And I sent Rolly a video. No, I tagged him in a video. And he said, yo, don't tag me, bro. And I say, yo, my bad. Respect, bro. I didn't mean to tag you. Watch this. So the next time I posted a video, I removed his tag and posted it. Yo, after that, for whatever reason, I was posting a video and his name was in the names that was saved to be tagged. And I didn't notice it. So I tagged him in a video without noticing. Yo, that nigga saw the tag and told me, yo, I told you not to tag me. I'm blocking you. And blocked me. That nigga Rolly's blocked me, bro. Ernest Morales, Rolly's is a good position, but must take advantage of his moment. Yeah, he has to for sure. Because he beat Ryan Garcia. Like, that's a big win over a high-profile name. What's next? I know that Rolly's, dealt with some mental health issues and maybe even depression. Hopefully he's okay and he's going to be able to get back in the ring soon. Jamie Giblin, DDD or Usyk? Who you got? Look, man, if anybody got a chance to beat Usyk, it's Daniel Dubois. We saw how the first fight played out. We saw the knockdown that would have been a knockout if the referee didn't make a mistake. So Dubois has a chance. I still say Usyk is the favorite. I would say probably 60-40 in Usyk. I see it 60-40 in Usyk's favor. That's how I would put it. But I would give Dubois a high percentage because he can fight. Simple as that. He can fight. So I give him a high percentage. What's up with Tank? I mean, I don't know what's up with Tank, my guy. He's supposed to be fighting the rematch with Lamar Roach, but I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't know what's going on with that. I see a lot of talking going on. I see stuff on social media, like fighters posting stuff or whatever, but I haven't really seen no promotional videos about their upcoming fight. I haven't seen promotional posters about the rematch. I really haven't seen anything at this point. And by the way, I was talking to Blue Blood Sports TV. That was like 3 days ago. And he told me that, people don't even know if that fight is actually going to happen. Like, right now, there's people out there doubting that the rematch between Tank Davis and Lamar Roach is actually going to happen. Because there's certain things that it doesn't seem to be moving. Like, let me give you an example, my people. We don't know who's supposed to be on that card. It's like they don't even got a card right now put together. We don't know who the other fighters are supposed to be. That's number one. Steven Espinoza the other day said that they're struggling with getting a budget for the fight. That's number two. And again, we don't see, think about it. When is the last time, and I'm asking you guys this, when is the last time that you seen any promotional anything for Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach? Whether it's promotional posters, promotional videos, a promotional commercial on TV or on social media. When is the last time you saw anything, any content aimed at promoting Tank versus Roach, the rematch? I can't even tell you, my people. I can't even tell you. I don't see nothing being promoted. Like, there's no fight going down. That's what it looks like. Like, if there's no fight going down. Fearless Rick Boxing. I'm waiting, shaking my head. My brother. I'm waiting myself. John Parham. Parker will be the one. Love more Hinduism. Tank got a new nail polish brand. Go for him. Go for him. You know that Floyd Mayweather did float the idea that Tank may have a little sugar in his tank. There's been some rumors, and you know Tank, he be doing them little dances where he be shaking his ass and shit and slapping his hips. I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't knock no man for their sexuality. So if Tank is down with that kind of stuff, whether he's on the low or whatever, I ain't got a problem with him. I ain't even got nothing else to say about that shit. Big boy, Canelo gonna win. I think you're gonna be disappointed, big boy. I'm just being honest with you. You're gonna be disappointed because that fight is not gonna play out the way that you're expecting. Really not. You know, Crawford. You know, I believe that it's even disrespectful that people saw what Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence, and yet they still underestimate him. They still can't accept what a great fighter he is. Well, I guess he's gonna have to prove it to you once again. You're gonna have to prove it to you once again. By the way, my peoples, to those who are new in the channel, this is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You know it, my peoples, Mondays through Fridays. Early in the morning, don't forget to get your Boxing for Breakfast. Hash bash, Blue Blood never blocked me. Blue Blood never blocked you? What are you talking about? Tank fight is happening. Don't listen to Blue. He's doing it for likes. John, see, that's the thing, John Parham. You gotta stop saying what people are doing it for. You're not inside Blue's head. You don't know why he's doing it. You're not a psychic, obviously. So you say somebody's doing something for likes, that's cap. You capping. You don't know why they're doing it. Come on now. Somebody's sharing their opinion or it's inside information. And you talk about they doing it for likes. Come on, man. I understand that as a tanker maniac, you feel like you gotta defend Tank at all times. But defending Tank doesn't mean that you gotta attack other people. I know that you attack Shakur, again, because you're a tanker maniac. That's the thing about y'all. That y'all feel like in order to defend Tank's honor, you gotta attack everybody. You don't gotta do that, bro. You don't gotta attack people just to defend Tank's honor. John Parham, Blue always capping for views. So here's what I gotta say about that, right? Because you guys know that I know Blue, right? Knowing Blue and being, because even though you saw that video, but it's not like I just met Blue the other day. You know, I've been in touch with him behind the scenes. And I can tell you right now, my peoples, Blue is somebody who is very, very, very well connected within boxing. A lot of the best fighters in the game, Blue knows them, knows people in their team, has been to their training camp, has been, because that's the one thing. Blue Blood Sports TV, his show, if you think about it, it's just him in front of the camera. You know, usually whether it's his studio or somewhere else, he don't show people to all the different places that he goes to meet with fighters, to be part, to take, you know, to be in the training camp, seeing how they doing it, how they preparing. He gets, you know, he gets to be in the unique position where boxing fans don't get to be. If you're not an insider, You're not regularly gonna see fighters when they balloon up in shape. Why? Because there's a lot of fighters out there that when they get a little bit chubby, when that little belly comes out, they're not gonna take a picture. They're not gonna let you see them like that. They're gonna wait till they cut a little bit of weight, starting to look a little bit stronger, and that's when they go on social media. But they also disappear too when they balloon in weight. So Blue is in a unique position where he gets to see and hear and be in touch with a lot of people. He's an insider. He's not just, because there's the content creator who's somebody just creating content out of, okay, I see this and I'm gonna talk about it. And then there's the actual insider, my people. Whether you like Blue or not, he's an insider. I still remember when Terence Crawford was gonna fight on BLK Prime. Blue was the first one to report that. And then I found out that he was involved in that deal because he was involved or is with BLK Prime. So, come on, bro. The guy is an insider. What can I tell you? So if I'm an insider, of course I'm going to get information that you don't have, or I'm going to get information before you. And I'm going to even go further, my people, so y'all can see. Because Blue is my guy, and I want to make sure I can straighten one thing up that I've seen in boxing. I've had information, inside information from people involved in the camp that a fight was gonna happen. And I made a video and everything. I got a video. Breaking news. This fight is gonna happen. I found out before y'all. And boom, the fight falls through. Now it's not gonna happen. They signed the contracts and everything. But something went left, and the fight is not gonna happen. So now, if I would have posted the video, what y'all would have told me? Not all of y'all, because you guys, I think everybody on this channel know that Jay Smith don't cap. I don't make shit up. Call it how it is. But if I tell you I got inside information about a fight that's gonna happen, and that fight doesn't happen, what y'all gonna say about me? Y'all gonna be like, oh, JB capping. He capping for views. He said the fight was gonna happen just to get some views. But in reality, the fight was gonna happen. I had reliable information that it was gonna happen. Negotiations fell through. Look at Shakur and Floyd Mayweather. That fight was gonna happen, fell through. There's so many different reasons, my people, why a fight can fall through. And in boxing, I promise you, boxing is a business where everything is subject to change up until the last moment. Everything's subject to change. Look at Tank Davis. Look at the example of subject to change. Look at Tank Davis and Lamont Roach right now. We already had a fight date and everything. And all of a sudden now we don't got a fight date. We don't know when they're going to happen. When they're gonna fight. So in boxing, my peoples, everything is subject to change. And Blue Blood Sports, he's someone who he's already grew to the level of popularity, over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, that he has people nitpicking at everything he says, studying everything he says to try to catch what they say is gonna be a lie or is gonna be capped. So eventually they're gonna find a video where they say, oh, this fight is gonna happen, and when that fight falls through, oh look, Blue was capping, he was just making stuff up for views. Nah, bro. I can tell you right now, my people, Blue Blood Sports TV, he does not make stuff up for views. He does not make stuff up for cap. You might disagree with his point of view, you might have a different opinion, but Blue ain't out there making stuff up for no views. That's cap. If you say that Blue's making stuff up for views, you're actually making stuff up about Blue because you don't like him. That's really what that is. Hash Bash, Jay Smith doesn't cap, but sometimes he didn't see the contract. Well, damn, I couldn't read that, Hash Bash. Hold on. Jay Smith doesn't cap, but sometimes uniform because he doesn't see the contract. I don't know what you mean by that, but I can tell you when I give you, if I get some insider information and I share with you and I tell you, look, I spoke to someone and I know this is going down. If it doesn't go down, I guarantee you that I didn't just make it up out of thin air or I wasn't just trying to get views. And that, look, that's why there's been a couple of times where I got information and I didn't say anything. So I'm like, damn, baby, if I come out and I say something and this shit don't happen, people gonna be like, I was capping, I made it up, and blah, blah, blah. So, because that's the thing, my people. Let me tell you another perspective that you may not realize. I could be in touch with fighters, with your favorite fighters, with guys. I could be in touch, with 3-4 of the people in the pound for pound list. I could be in touch with reigning champions, but guess what? If we talking behind the scenes, I can't be fucking name dropping. Oh yeah, I'm talking to this person and I can't be doing that. Unless I got the green light, like yeah, you can put it out that I said this. I can't be doing that, my people. That's why I say sometimes you can underestimate the type of information that somebody has and you think that they lying. Meanwhile, they talking blue, be talking to the people that's directly involved in the fight, my people. He talking to the people that's doing it. Hash Bash, I believe you, Jay Smith. You can get wrong information because you got to see the contract. It's not necessarily that you got to see the contract, my brother. It's because, let me give you an example. What we saw with Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, that fight was this close to happening, and Teofimo Lopez decided to pull out. I don't know, it blindsided them. So imagine if I knew that fight was going to happen before they announced it, before they talked about it. Because I know somebody in the team that told me. And then all of a sudden, Teofimo pulled out of the fight. I'm thinking that I'm making shit up just to get some views or just to get some likes. Meanwhile, I talked to somebody on the team who told me, yo, Jay, they signed the contracts. I was there. They signed it. I said, I don't need to. But that's the point. That's why, I decided to myself, you know what? I'm not going to do breaking news. I'm out of that. Like being the first one to report that something is happening or finding out. I'm done with that. Because that's reporter type shit. And I don't consider myself a reporter anyways. But, breaking news or insider information, I'm not doing it. Because with boxing, I realize, boxing is a very, very unique business. The way the things are handled. And that's why until a contract, even after the contract is signed, a fight can fall through. But at least when a contract is signed, you know that the intentions are there to fight each other. But too many things change in boxing. And that's the reason why people think that Blue may be capping. Because he break up. He's like I told y'all, man, he's in the mix. He's with the fighters, he's with the trainers, he's talking to the promoters, he's talking to everybody. He's getting all the information. But shit changes. So he might give you a little piece of information that changed, and guess what? A Blue Blood Sports TV hater looks for the information, look for a video, cuss that little piece. Look what Blue said. He be lying. Look, he said this for views. John Parham. DMV, respectfully, I agree. It's his opinion and no need to target a big name in the boxing YouTube streets. DMV Levy. Damn, I was getting ready to start rocking with, but you just lost me too. You just stood up for Blue like you new to this. Nah, my brother. Let me ask you a question. DM Levy. Are you, because I don't know you, my brother, so I don't know. Are you involved? Like, are you a content creator, YouTuber or something like that? or involved with boxing or enjoy the sport of boxing, like your perception of blue, does it come from you creating content? Oh shit. Like your perception of blue, does it come from you creating content with him or NYC Alex, blue was capping. Armor G, bro. I think Ila Tuporia. Come on, man. Talking about MMA people. What are we doing here? Hash Bash. It's a difference between negotiations and contract. It's that it doesn't matter. Negotiations and contract don't matter. A fight can be stopped from being made even after there's a contract. Contracts get broken too, bro. Do you not know this? That there's fights where both fighters already signed the contract and it falls through. It still doesn't happen. Come on. Stuff changes. Stuff is subject to change. And the fact that you bringing up contract, that's irrelevant, my brother, because we're not even pinpointing what Blue said that has people talking like that. It's not like we're talking about he said something about a contract and that was a lie. Come on. I could tell you, yo, my peoples, I have information that this fight is being made. And guess what? The fight don't get made. One of the two fighters wanted more money, and just because of that, the fight didn't get made. Look at Brian Norman Jr. Look at Brian Norman Jr. and Jerome Booth Ennis. Again, imagine I be in touch, sometimes not that much, but sometimes I talk to Brian Norman Sr. And he told me that they wanted to fight Boots and all that stuff. So imagine if I told you, yo, Brian Norman Sr. already told me that they want to fight Boots. That fight is going down. That's it, it's going down. Guess what? The fight don't happen, now you think I'm capping. But I got it from Brian Norman Jr.'s own father that they trying to make that fight with Boots. So if they enter negotiations, you don't think that's enough for me to think the fight is going down? His own father told me they trying to make it happen. Now Eddie Hearn sending an offer, it's going down. And then it doesn't happen. That's what I told y'all, man. I'm out of the business of breaking news. When I hear something, I stay quiet. I wait for it to come out, and then I'll be like, yeah, there we go. Let's talk about it. Like, for what I do, right? For what I do, I don't need to be the first to give any information or to find out any information. When the shit come out, we all talk about it. NYC Alex, yo, relax. Dude was trolling about Ilya. And y'all freaking out. Well, I don't know. I ignore it. I don't know why. What's the deal with people going into a boxing page to talk about MMA? I could imagine there'd probably be some boxing fans that do that too with MMA fans on purpose. They go on MMA pages and talk about boxers and shit. So I guess that's maybe an MMA fan returning the favor. Crazy. Armor G, because Ilya talked about fighting Canelo. Ah, okay. Yeah, well, he'll beat up. All these look at Pereira. Look at Alex Pereira. We seen him boxing, we seen him sparring, looking real good in some sparring videos. Meanwhile, the other day he got waxed by a boxer that's a lot smaller than him, but an elite level boxer. So there's some MMA guys who are good at punching and they could look good. Pereira's one of them. But you get in there with an elite level boxer, you're gonna get washed. They're gonna make you look bad every time around. John Parham, JJ, Mike. Oh, what's my brother JJ? Hold on, baby. Here we go. JJ's in there. Good morning, J Smith. Let's go hit the like button, everyone. What's the deal, JJ? I appreciate you dropping in, man. And yo, you missed out, JJ, but we was talking about the whole. Hold on, man. I gotta put the phone down real quick. We was talking about Canelo versus Crawford and the whole narrative of Crawford being too small, Canelo being too big and all that stuff. And people are still convinced. People are still convinced. People are still convinced that Canelo's too big, that Crawford is too small, that the size is going to dictate how this fight plays out. And I've been trying to just educate people. NYC Alex, Crawford is hella small. Meanwhile, you saw them face to face and he looked bigger than Canelo. He hella small, but he weighed 185 when Canelo was weighing 168. Oh, fix the mic. Thank you, my brother. Let me know if you can hear me now. Imagine that. How Crawford gonna be hella small and he outweighed Canelo by like 20 pounds. That's nasty work, NYC Alex. Nasty work. Now, let's keep it 100. Canelo, that dude is small. He's Canelo is petite. NYC Alex, you talk a bunch of black. Listen, I'm just telling you the truth. Canelo is little. Canelo is a little 168 pounder who looks smaller than Crawford in the face-off. You can't handle the truth, my guy. If you can't handle the truth, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. If Canelo's little, you want me to lie to you and tell you that he's big? You want me to tell you that Canelo's a big dude? This dude said Canelo's a true 168 pounder. Like Canelo didn't move up from 147 division and first became a champion at 154. Like Canelo's not more little than everybody he fights at 168. Come on, man. It's too early for you to get cooked, bro. Don't make me cook you this early in the morning. I already had my breakfast. I know that this is boxing for breakfast, but you don't need to get cooked like this, Alex. Talking about Canelo's big and a true 168 pounder. Canelo little as hell. Little. Nobody in the history has ever said Canelo's big. Nobody has ever said Canelo's big, ever. Everybody he fights in the division is bigger than him. The reason why Crawford is able to challenge him at 168 is because he's little. That's why you will not see Terence Crawford fighting other people at 168. He could fight Canelo because Canelo's a little dude. Canelo's a little dude who's having success at that weight class. And he's so small that he has the threshold of how far he can go. That's why he went to 160, 175, and Dimitri Bivol made it look easy. Bivol made it look easy. Put the brakes on Canelo. You saw that, NYC Alex. You saw that ass whooping Bivol gave him. You don't have to act like you didn't see it. You saw what happened. Keep it 100. You could be honest with yourself. So, at 165, at 175, he was already way too little. You see, he's too little at 168, but at 175, he's way too little. You're over here talking about Canelo's a true 168 pounder. Listen. You have to truly not know shit about boxing to say that Canelo's a true 168 pounder. Like, you have to absolutely not know shit about boxing to say that Canelo's a true 168 pounder. So, it looks like you don't know shit about boxing. JJ's in the house. Hello, John. Have a good day. Yeah. But, my peoples, I tell you, September 13th is going to be monumental. September 14th, for that episode of Boxing for Breakfast, oh my God, I hope to see NYC Alex. I hope to see all the guys who say Crawford is going to lose, Canelo's going to make it look easy, Canelo's too big. Everybody who's saying stuff like that, I hope to see y'all on September 14th. Because that episode of Boxing for Breakfast is going to be a roasting session for y'all. Y'all about to be getting roasted out there. So get ready for September 14th. Some of y'all, after all the stuff some of you said, y'all ain't even going to want to wake up that day. Y'all going to go to sleep after Crawford whooped Canelo, feeling depressed, and y'all not even going to want to wake up. Y'all not even going to want to wake up. Put it to you like that. That pain that you're going to feel, waking up knowing that Terence Crawford has accomplished one of the biggest wins in boxing history, that Crawford win than all of your favorite fighters combined, that's going to break your heart. And Crawford is in the history books once again, that's going to break your heart. Y'all got to choose not to hate. Choose not to hate, my peoples. That hate, it only hurts you. Crawford this, Crawford that. He gonna make history. He gonna make history. And people gonna look goofy as hell for all them goofy ass, I don't know shit about boxing predictions about how Canelo is gonna make it look easy and wash him. And all. Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. Be for real. Oh, yo, my people, I just went over a speed bump. That motherfucker was like a ramp. I felt like I was in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. God damn. Hash Bass, Amir Khan was too small, and Crawford is gonna get hurt. That's because you don't know shit about boxing. But at least you're a good fan of boxing, though. And a good tankomaniac. Mr. Cayo, Hearns did so. Hearns did so? What? I don't know what you mean by that, my brother. Kind of lost me there. Mario Kindle, in your opinion, who better, Terence Crawford or Floyd Mayweather? India crimes, of course. Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford, who's better? If I could pick a better fighter right now, it's hard for me to pick. It's really hard for me to pick because obviously they have different styles of boxing. I think if they both meet in their prime, I'm going with Crawford. If Crawford and Floyd meet in their prime, I'm going with Crawford. So there you have it. But I got Crawford. NYC Alex, what are you going to say when Canelo whoops him? Huh? Excuses? I never use excuses, my brother. That's Canelo fans. Y'all already making up the excuses for Canelo. I already had Canelo fans telling me that he's not the same. And look, there was a Canelo fan in here earlier talking about Canelo gonna get cheated. So y'all already figuring out, y'all already lining up the excuses. Duck Vada, I don't know who you're talking about, Duck Vada. In case you didn't know, both fighters are being tested by Vada. And Vada, Crawford actually posted a video a few days ago of Vada randomly testing him. I don't know, you gotta stop making stuff up out of thin air, my guy. That's whack. Why boxing fans gotta make stuff up out of thin air to try to hate on a fighter? Like, really? Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. And you're talking to the human algorithm. I'm up to date with all that information. You can't just make some shit up talking to me. Oh, Pac-Man. They duck Vada? I don't know. I don't know about that. Ugh. I don't know if you're making that out of thin air. I mean, but, okay, you say he ducked Vada, but Floyd, didn't he get busted with an IV, an illegal IV? How about that? Isn't that suspicious? You do know that IVs are illegal in sports because you can use... No, yo me estoy grabando a mí, manito. A mí mismo, no a ti. No, no le pare. No, no. Es a mí. No le pare, manito. Dime. No le pare, manito. Dame la cajita, príncipe. No. Está bien. Hold on, my peoples. I'm at the store right now. Where it was? My boy said Floyd was just rehydrating. You see that? That's why when you're a fan, your opinion is not reliable because you make a positive opinion of the guys you like and a negative opinion of the guys you don't like. And that's what you're doing now. You're saying Floyd was just rehydrating. Floyd was just rehydrating. Motherfucker, do you realize that you could rehydrate by drinking water, by drinking Gatorade, by drinking a bunch of different things? Do you know that? Did you know that you can even hydrate by fucking eating watermelon? You don't need an IV to rehydrate, goofball. But when you don't know shit about shit, you make goofy arguments and you think that you're making good ones. You see? So you say something about Pac-Man, but then when it comes to Floyd, you don't say nothing. That's what happens when you're a biased goofball. Mr. Cayo, I don't want to hear 154, 160 Canelo beats Crawford. Get that shit out of here. Listen, no Canelo beats Crawford. Okay? No Canelo beats Crawford. 147, 154, 160, 168. All of those Canelos get whooped by Crawford. All of them. Victor J, you end lives without any notice. Nah, my brother. First of all, salute Victor J. I appreciate you dropping in. And no, come on, my brother. You never been with me when I end my live. I have a certain way that I end every live. What happened yesterday, and it's already happened to me twice, is that while I'm on live with y'all, I ran out of battery. Boop! Just go dead. So I'm actually in the middle of talking. Matter of fact, wasn't you in yesterday's morning live? I was in the middle of talking when the shit just went dead. In the middle of my sentence. Oh shit, wait, I'm going the wrong way. So now, my brother, I don't just disappear off of the live, man. I let my peoples know I'm about to get to stepping. Orange Man Fan Club, still illegal. You know how goofy that sound? Nah, Floyd was just Floyd was just hydrating. Everybody else that I think is suspect is guilty, but Floyd was just hydrating. Let's think the best of it. Come on, man, that shit sound goofy as hell. You know how many different ways to hydrate exist? And he chose the IV, and he chose to do it on the low without telling anybody, and got caught. Oh, but he was just hydrating on the low. You sound goofy as hell. You really think he was hydrating on the low without nobody knowing? Does that sound innocent to you? The Nobody 92, Junior Alcantara just won his fight. What tournament is he fighting in? Junior Alcantara, man. He a special young man. I believe he's gonna go far. I believe he had the skills to become a world champion. Real talk, my people. He got the skills to become a world champion. Mr. Cayo and Jay Smith, when I mentioned Hearns, I said he went up 3 weight classes for the WBC. Oh, okay. No, it was 2 weight classes. It wasn't 3, it was 2. NYC Alex, Pac-Man was juicing, jumped up weight classes. You think that was clean or innocent? NYC, stop making stuff up out of thin air. One thing is what you think, and one thing is what it is. That's your problem. It's okay if you believe that. You can say, yo, I think he was doing this. But you say it as if it's a fact, and it's not a fact. Pac-Man never tested dirty. So don't take your assumption and try to turn it into a fact. And then look, when I asked you about Floyd, you're like, nah, he was just hydrating. How the fuck you know he was hydrating? How do you know he was hydrating? Because he told me he was hydrating. You're going to sound goofy as hell. How you know Floyd was hydrating? So you believe Floyd, but you don't believe Pac-Man, right? Pac-Man is lying. Floyd is telling you the truth. You sound goofy as hell, bro. Hold on, my people. Let me go inside the store real quick. Let me go inside the store real quick, my people. Stay with me. Trying to put the phone down. Stay with me. Oh, shit. Here. I'll be right back, my peoples. Don't leave me. Boxing for breakfast is not over yet. My peoples. My peoples. Thank you for waiting. We back. Boxing for breakfast. It's in the building. Best morning boxing show, period. There's no getting around it. Yo, shout out to Greg Hackett, who joined us. Hung out for a minute. Got to enjoy the show. Appreciate you dropping in, my G. John Parham. I'm in a few and never seen you. Why I asked, that's all. I'm kind of lost with that one. But my peoples, it's all going to break down to the fights. We can make all these predictions. Everybody feels confident about who's going to win. But I'm just going to remind you, if you were part of the crew who about how Errol was going to beat Crawford, if you was part of the crew who was confident about how Errol was going to stop Crawford because he was too big and Crawford was too little, if you're part of that crew, I think you should have learned. And you didn't learn. But you should have learned because you already went through this. You already said somebody was going to beat Crawford because they was too big. You already said they was too strong for Crawford. And look again. That's it, okay? You didn't learn the first time. You're going to learn once again. Crawford is going to shoot the election. So remember exactly how you felt. You're going to remember exactly how you felt when he beat Canelo. You don't remember NYC Alex. You don't remember that feeling that you had in your heart when Crawford just put the baits on Errol Spence? How did it feel inside your heart, bro? After you spent all that time saying that Errol was gonna knock him out, Errol was gonna walk him down and break him, and how do you feel be watching Bud pummeling Spence like that? And it's like that beating Crawford gave Spence, it made people hate him even more. NYC Alex and the rest of them, they hate Crawford even more. Just because of that beating that he gave Errol Spence. Y'all should have learned. Y'all should have learned after that fight. But now, like I said, man, Crawford is going to teach y'all once again. This whole narrative about size and power is going to get debunked. And you know what? I really want to see when Canelo lands a good shot on Crawford. Boom! And Crawford doesn't go down like y'all thought he would. Because that's the thing. Y'all haven't seen 168-pound Crawford. Y'all haven't seen it. You love to make negative assumptions. Oh, he's going to be weak. I've had people tell me Crawford is going to be weak, that he's going to be fat, that he's going to be slow, that he's not going to be that good. I had people tell me everything about Crawford at 168, although we never seen him there. We don't really actually know how he's gonna look. All we could do is make an honest assessment. Very honest assessment with y'all about how Crawford is gonna look and be at 168. But you don't want to believe it. You want to believe that Crawford is gonna be a little softy and that he's just gonna get beat up at 168. No power, no nothing. Canelo just gonna walk him down, walk right in the front door and beat him up. All right. But that's exactly the same way that you guys felt when Crawford was gonna fight Errol Spence. Y'all had him getting knocked out, getting beat up, getting dominated, all of that stuff. All of it. All of a sudden, the fight happens. Crawford put the nastiest beating on Errol Spence that we've seen for the longest. I thought y'all was gonna give him credit. I actually thought, oh shit, fans are finally gonna give Crawford his props. Oh, that's fire. The next day, I was already talking about the car accident. How the hell y'all spent the entire time leading up to the fight talking about how Errol Spence was gonna knock him out? And after the fight, y'all immediately went into the car accident. That's crazy work. So it's almost like now, I already know when Crawford beats Canelo, the excuses are gonna start flying in fast and furious. I already know, my peoples. I already know. Now, I will say, people get so emotional about these fights. Big fights, that's a big fight. But at the end of the day, it's two great fighters facing each other. Nobody's getting exposed. I almost hit some idiot. Ran across the street. I almost hit him. But in this fight, my peoples, nobody's getting exposed. Nobody's a hype job. The loser is not a hype job or none of that stuff, my people. This is a great fight, and a great fighter is going to lose. That's just the reality. That's the way it has to play out. Mr. Cayo, anybody can look what I set up. Well, anybody can look it up except me, bro, because, I got to drive and all. Crawford and Canelo is going to play out the same way like Shakur and Tank. The same way. Y'all going to make the same argument. Oh, Tank's too strong. Shakur's not going to be able to keep him off of him. And Tank is going to do this. And Shakur cannot do that. And then when they fight, Shakur's going to outbox him the same way Crawford's going to outbox Canelo. Same deal. Same situation. But it's like y'all want to be ganging up with fighters. Y'all feel like, if I'm down with this fighter, I got to be down with that fighter too. And I got to hate on those fighters over there. Y'all think boxing is like a little gang and shit where you got to be part of the Canelo gang, or you got to be a part of the Crawford gang, and y'all part of the Tank Davis gang? Come on, man. NYC Alex, size and power will determine this fight. Just saying. Size and power will definitely not determine this fight. Size and power didn't determine Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez. Size and power didn't determine Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. Why is size and power going to determine this one? Because you don't know shit about boxing. That's why you think that way. You don't know shit about boxing and you don't like Crawford. Size and power doesn't determine the overwhelming majority of fights. Most fights don't get determined by size and power. But if you don't know shit about boxing, if you want Crawford to lose, if you want Canelo to win, then you're going to say that size and power is going to determine what happens here. That's because you don't know shit about boxing. That's why. And by the way, my peoples, When I tell you don't know shit about boxing, I hope y'all don't take it personal. Y'all know Box Center, we gotta say what we gotta say. Oh shit. So don't take it personal. If you don't know shit about boxing, I'm the person that's most likely to tell you. NYC Alex, you seem like you don't know nothing. Trust me, bro. If I didn't know nothing, you wouldn't be here. You're here because you know what's good. MZ3, what do you think of the Haney BS Norman fight schedule for November? So, I don't know who's going to be part of that card, but I do got to tell you, I'm super excited about Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. I know that's going to be a real good fight. So, but as far as who's on the card, I don't know. I don't know who's on it. Mr. Kyle, welterweight to light heavyweight. He began his career at welterweight and went on to win a title at light heavyweight, a jump of 3 weight classes. A.M. Jordan, Devin Haney got crushed by Brian Norman. Get crushed. Let's see. Let's see, you know. I don't think you should count Devin Haney out. I think that's a good fight. Competitive. But I wouldn't just straight up count him out because Devin, he's a world champion. A guy who's accomplished a lot, an elite level fighter. You know, you can't just count him out that easily. Like, oh, he's done. But honestly, if you push me to make a decision and pick right now, I would have to pick Brian Norman Jr. in that fight. Because, Brian, we seen him, man. We seen him in his last couple of fights. Out there looking explosive, dangerous, power in both hands. I don't know if Devin Haney can handle that. But I would count Devin Haney out in that fight. But if I'm betting money on it, I'm rocking with Brian Norman Jr. That's what I would have to go with. Armor G, if Canelo keeps the same speed and skill at 6'4", 250, does he beat Francis Ngannou? I mean, come on, that's irrelevant, my guy. Come on, like, Ngannou's not even a boxer, bro. I can't even answer that question for you, my guy. Like, NYC Alex, and Butt only ever fought once at 154 and looked horrible. He looked horrible to people who don't know shit about boxing, like yourself. Daniel Torres, Haney, trash. He's done. You can't say he's done, bro. You can't say Haney's done. And the reason I say that, take this into consideration, my guy. Devin Haney won his last fight versus Jose Ramirez. Ramirez is a legit fighter. Devin Haney is coming off of a great win. So why would you say that he's done? I don't see it. I think Devin Haney's young, man, and real accomplished. Trust me, Devin Haney has a lot to go. And look, as a matter of fact, bro, Devin Haney's a reigning champion right now, my guy. We talking like Devin Haney is not a champion and is out there getting cooked. He a world champion, my G. Fearless Rick Boxing. Haney trash. Damn. Mic check. Let me know if y'all got it. Let me know if y'all could hear me. All I had to do was switch. Peace, bro. In the AM. Young Green Thumb. Salute. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. Let me know, those of you who are still in the building, okay, you can hear me. That's what's up. I had to switch it up, you know what I'm saying? But my peoples, before I end this show, I want to say a shout out to Mr. Kyle, shout out to Victor J, John Parham, Hash Bass, 4M Jordan, your Armor G, NYC Alex, JJ Zendejas, John Parham, everybody else who came through. My peoples, I always appreciate you guys coming through. We talk boxing, doing what we got to do. Y'all already know what it is, man. Boxing for breakfast is going to be it already is the best morning boxing show. It already is. I seen some boxing little things here and there, but you can't tell me that's a better boxing show in the morning than boxing with breakfast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tomorrow at the same time, we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna go back and forth. There's gonna be trash talking. There's gonna be debating. Maybe people might even get cursed out. You never know. But my peoples, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all already know, man. I'm out of here. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing with Breakfast. A healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. I'm out of here. One love. Salute. Peace.